Hey y'all, it's Crazymommkelly coming at you from my part of PA. Thanks for joining me tonight for the first Spook Talk. My first ever live video on YouTube, and it seems to be working for once. Yay, go me! All right, so I hope y'all can make it. If not, I plan to be holding these at least, let's say, once every 2 weeks. That way, when you know it's coming, you all can say hey or whatever. I was going to go on Facebook Live with this, and I don't have my phone with me. I might just do another one after this, but it is what it is. So grab your cup of wine or whatever you're drinking. I'm cheating tonight. I got coffee. Sorry, guys, but I've been having a bit of a cold, and I'm on some stuff for that. I think I got allergies, honestly. But what I wanted to talk to you about tonight, I was hoping enough people would gather here. So I'm here out in the blue white yonder. I was going to talk today about my house. As you all know, I live in my part of PA. That's why I say my local friends, they know where I live. But this house is actually kind of haunted. But before I go any further and talk about this, what we'll do on Spook Talk is I'll have guest stars, I'll have guest people come on and talk about their paranormal experiences around Pennsylvania or, Ridgeway or wherever they are. Don't be shy in that. And each week I'll also feature, since my channel is religious tolerance too. I have very much religious tolerance. So any faith, any walk of life is welcome here. Anybody that does not like it or does not agree with it, they can leave, or I will block them or do whatever I have to do. That's just what it is. But before I start anything, I'm going to light an incense, light my candle, and then y'all can be knowing this is a safe space to have fun and just chit chat about the paranormal. Okay. So my incense I'm using tonight is Naturama. It's Money House Blessing. Just what I use. It's my go-to one. I found this down Dollar Tree, dollar store, wherever. So we light our incense. See? This is a blessing to you and to me for safety and love and energy to everybody. Okay. Put that in my holder. And I got a bunk holder, hopefully. Oh, there you go. Okay. So let's get started. Okay, my house, I moved into it around 2014. Sorry, I moved into it around 2014 with my husband and my children. And we lived here, and my husband grew up in this house, actually. He was a little guy, and he lived in this house. This is his family homestead. My in-laws decided they didn't want to be here anymore, so they decided and they, moved out, and they let us have the house. We're taking over payments for it. A brief history on the house. This house was built in 1900s. The first owner to live in this house, my husband researched, was Henry Otterson, and he died actually in California, but he was from here. But he went to Cambridge University as electrical engineer and mechanical engineer, and he worked at a place called Dynamo. I wrote it down. Sorry, he was electrical engineer. He worked at a place called. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he worked at a place called Dynamo and Engine Company in Ridgeway, and he was married to a woman named Ethel May Swift Otterson. Okay, this is around the 1900s, early 1900s, 1910, 1930s. Okay, he was born here. He went to Cornell University, class 1897. He was assistant superintendent at Dynamo dynamo engineer company, and he was married to Ethel, and Ethel was daughter of Charles James Fox Swift and Josephine Reno. And they were married on April 4th, 1906, in Ridgeway here, in Ridgeway, Elk County, PA. And Swift, if anybody from our area knows, right down the street from where I live, supposedly Taylor Swift's parents lived there, or aunts or uncles or whatever. Well, kind of funny thing about the Swift that was married to Mr. Otteson that lived here. They had a niece that lived with them and her at the time during the census that came around, the yearly census. And her name was Natalie Otterson. She was age 14. This may be Natalie Swift. And if anybody knows anything about this interesting thing is that Ethel May Swift is the aunt of Archie Dean Swift Jr., and that is Taylor Swift's grandfather. So we had a Swift living in this house with her husband, Henry Otterson. But the thing is, this house he lived up here until, then he was living up here till I'd say, where is it? I'm sorry. My notes are crazy. Till about the 1930s, and he decided to move. So he moved away and whatnot, and he moved to California. I don't know what happened. I mean, these are just sparse records, old records you can find. But he moved to California. He died in Capito Santa Cruz County, California at age 77. And then his wife, Ethel, she actually died in Warren, PA at the age 73. So they died, but they didn't live here always. What they did was they rented this house to a man, and his name was Charles Cleo Hutchinson. And he was, I'm assuming, he was born January 1900, and he worked with Otterson at the Ridgeway Dynamo Company. And he rented this place, from what it says, he rented this house for $40 or $50 a week. And then he eventually bought it in the 1930s. And he had a daughter, or he had a wife. He had two wives, actually. One was Dorothy Hutchison. And they had one daughter. It's kind of crazy. Her name was Lillian Hutchison. Okay. And she, Mrs. Dorothy Hutchison must have died at one point, because I don't think in the 1930s and 40s it was really common for divorce. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it was common. So he remarried eventually to marry Delphi Rhines Hutchinson. And she was born in Halton, PA. And then she was from 1974 to 1975. They were married. And she died in 1975. And Mary had a daughter who was from a previous marriage. And her name was Marjorie Rhines Zimmerman. She was, she was 1975 to 1985. She lived in this house. She owned this house. And then, lo and behold, 1985, my in-laws bought this house. Okay. So normally this house stays in the family for many years. It stayed in the family for a long time. And now we buy it. We moved in 2014. Why is this spooky, you may ask? Well, I will tell you why this is spooky. I'm currently displaced from different talks with my husband, different talks from my sister-in-law. This place is haunted. I haven't really experienced many things myself, but my sister-in-law clearly has. My husband clearly has. I'm going to tell you a few things about the place. And my recent cousin, Cheyenne Maloney, she just recently had an experience herself here. And my daughter's been having experience, and I'm going to tell you what they are. Oh, thank you for coming, Happy Mask Salesman. I'm doing a video about spooky things that we can talk about. Just gather on a live video every once in a while, talk about spooky paranormal things that have happened to us. I'm just going to talk about my haunted house. So sit back, relax, and grab yourself something to drink if you be so kind. Okay, so this house. Well, first off, there's a room upstairs. It's my son's bedroom currently. It was my husband's room when he was growing up. Doors will open and close automatically, even in the dead of winter when you have, and Pennsylvania winter, harder than hell. It's cold. It's going to be cold. So you're not going to have any windows open if you're normal or not having a hot flash or whatever. So, anyways, this is what happened. Doors open and close on themselves, especially when the windows are closed. So there's no breeze for a door to open and close like that. They like slam shut sometimes. Okay. My children have heard, and my husband have heard footsteps walking back and forth upstairs. My husband, may I add, again, has lived here his whole life. He's only been out of this house for a few years on his own when he was a young man, coming up in the world. But we moved back here. We're buying it from my in-laws. So that's how he knows that things happen. The attic is very active. I always think it's the squirrels or whatever that can get in the walls and stuff, and mice and whatever else. But when my husband goes upstairs, it's possible that there's an old rocking chair. I'll show you in another video sometime. It's a very old rocking chair, and it's decrepit. You don't want to sit on it. You're going to fall through it. When my husband was younger, he helped clean out the attic for this place, and they found all sorts of paranormal stuff. Not paranormal stuff, excuse me. All sorts of interesting things. Like right back here, we have an old antique radio. They found up in the attic. They found old cameras, old phonographs of the family and everything in general. And that old rocking chair, nobody's moved it. It sits in the corner upstairs in the attic. It's a cathedral ceiling. It's huge. The attic is. I'll have to show you sometime. But sometimes when you go up there, the rocking chair will rock back and forth by itself. That could be squirrels running, like I said, or a breeze could be rocking it back and forth. Also, my husband recently goes upstairs, to get decorations or whatever else. I go upstairs a lot frequently too. I never really notice anything, which is kind of crazy because I want to see something happen, but it never happens to me. It happens to my children or it happens to my husband. Could they put people on my leg about it? Possibly, but I don't think they would, especially with the way my children act. My husband, he's used to it, but it freaks him out a little bit too. Like he told me there was no way. Shadow, my dog was up there with him, my black lab, and she was there, and they have a mirror that's standing over in the corner too, above the chimney. And Luke was up there, broad daylight, and he seen a shadow cross the mirror, and he was thinking, "Oh, that's my dog," but it wasn't. Shadow was right beside him, and it just shadow crossed across the mirror. That's what Luke tells me. And Luke always used to have things happen. Rocking chairs go back and forth. Like I said, doors slam. People walk up, and when you're downstairs, you hear people walking upstairs, things like that. My daughter, actually, my 12-year-old, Lillian, she will see shadow people. She's seen shadow people in this dining room here. She's seen them in the living room. And Lily's not a liar, so I know she's seeing these things because it freaks her out. She doesn't like to sleep at night now because she says it's too spooky for her. She's comfortable as long as she's with her baby sister. They stick together through everything. Okay, and also my son. My son has always been able to see things and sense things that aren't there, or whatever, too. And he actually sensed things. And like I said, my husband, when he was younger, found a bunch of old photographs upstairs, and the name was written on the back, and it was Hutchinson, the previous owner of the house before Marjorie Rhymes Zimmerman, his stepdaughter. So my husband goes, "Okay, if you've seen a guy standing here," he goes, what's the guy look like? Morgan described the guy to a T. And he'd never seen this photograph before in his life. He described him. He's standing there in a suit jacket, little mustache, salt and pepper hair, glasses. That would be Mr. Hutchinson. So I think Mr. Hutchinson is a guardian of this house. I really do. I don't know about the other paranormal activity. My daughter's seen a woman standing in the corner of our living room at night. She sees these things. It's the shadow people. I'm thinking Hutchinson is the main man that everybody sees, but I believe that the woman, I'm not sure who she is. And the woman, also my cousin Cheyenne, was staying with us one night, and she sat on my own antique sofa in the living room. She sat down and she was just minding her own business, scanning her Facebook or whatever. And she heard a woman sobbing. I myself, the only time I've had experience anything in this house is when we first moved in. It's Mr. Hutchison. The reason why I think it's Mr. Hutchison is because Mr. Hutchison died in this house. He died upstairs in my bedroom, one of the master bedroom. He died in the master bedroom in his bed. He died in sleep. We don't know the cause of it or not, because this happened. I didn't tell you when he died, did I? In the 70s. He died in 1975, I think. Or was that his wife? Either way, he died. And so, but he died upstairs in our bedroom. And when we first moved in, a new house, to our animals and everything and our dogs. But Shadow's never done this before in her life. There was no noise outside. You know what I mean? Nothing really to spook her. We were laying in bed, like Shadow sleeps with us like she always does. And she stood up in the bed and was barking, looking in the corner of our one room, and she was barking. And she kept barking incessantly and barking and barking and barking. We got her calmed down. Now sometimes you'll randomly see her stare at things and stuff at the house, but nothing major. You know what I mean? So, and my sister-in-law has had paranormal experiences herself. When she lived here for a short time, people sitting on the bed, you know what I mean, when she was in it and things like that. She can, but a lot of her paranormal activity happened upstairs, and they call it the blue room. It used to be blue, but now it's like a green, army green for my son. And my son had issues. One night he was staying here. Me and my husband worked third shift, and he was staying here by himself. And he was he started hearing knocking on his doors, on his door. He's pretty sure, and he thought he knew it wasn't us because we're gone. His sisters weren't here either. It was just him by himself at age 14. And then the door started slamming back and forth, back and forth. And Morgan, like he told me, what he did was he ran into my room, because we're Catholic somewhat. I'm not Catholic, but my family is Catholic. I mean, I try to be Catholic, but long story. But yeah, he grabbed my St. Michael's candle and he burned that. And he told him, he goes, please, if you'd settle down, he goes, I need to get my rest. I got school tomorrow on a basketball game. And it seemed to cease then at one time. But it had him scared that he was here by himself. So he burned my St. Michael's candle, and that seemed to work. So that's my paranormal story. So yes, this house haunted. If any new things happen, I will let you know. But I was hoping we'd have a large crowd from my friends on Facebook, but I guess they're not coming, But I said at 9:00, and it's only 9 after now. So I said after this, if anybody was willing, I would grab a tarot card for the day. I'd read a tarot card for y'all and talk about ways on, if you've been in a haunted experience, if you know somebody's been in a haunted experience, maybe I can give some advice if they wanted to. And when we do this weekly, I was hoping to draw somebody's name so they could win something made for me, Crazymommkelly. But that's all I have to say, I guess. Maybe I'll do a YouTube, Facebook Live too, also, because YouTube, it's working out, but I guess not too much. But yeah, hopefully this will go better next time. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little story about my haunted house. I will hope to talk to you all soon, and I'm going to probably do this next weekend on Saturday if I don't have anything planned. I'll post it on my YouTube page or on my Facebook page, Crazymommkelly Facebook. You can go on there, like it, and then I'll post, when I'm going to do this again and stuff. Then hopefully we can get some stories from other locals or anybody in general that would like to talk about paranormal activity and what we can do to change it and everything. So have a blessed day. Take care. Peace. Blessed be. Amen. All that good stuff. Have fun. I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye. Peace. Thanks for watching.